I don't have an intro, so this is all you get. Hello, my name is JB24, and welcome to my very first movie review. This is something that I've been planning on doing for a long time, but constantly have either avoided or talked myself out of. But Marvel's first family, first steps, first review, it all makes sense. So let's see where this goes and see if this turns into anything decent or if it just ends up being another crappy review on YouTube. Guess only time will tell. The Fantastic Four, first steps. Let's start with the cast. I thought the cast itself was kind of meh. I didn't really feel like anybody stood out at all throughout the entire movie, except maybe Johnny Storm. But I think that's more because of what the script had intended for him. I felt most of the performances fell kind of flat, especially Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal, who I felt was miscast right from the get-go. I understand, at least there's rumors that there were at least 4 other actors that they had approached, but they all turned it down. I believe one was Adam Driver, and I don't know the background of John Krasinski. I know he was obviously in Doctor Strange Mom, but I've heard that that was only ever supposed to be a one-time cameo thing, which is very unfortunate because that was great casting. Something that Marvel really should have kept going with, but we got Pedro Pascal instead. I felt the chemistry between him and him and Sue was non-existent, really, which is weird considering if you watch all the media stuff with them and how they can't seem to keep their hands off each other, despite the fact that she's engaged to somebody else and pregnant with somebody else's baby. I mean, watching that press tour, if I was her fiance, I'd maybe be considering a DNA test on that child when it comes. Might be a little bit more Chilean in there than he expects. But yeah, I felt most of the performance was kind of bland. Not much there. Pedro, the way he played Reed, it looked like he was constantly on the verge of some sort of massive mental breakdown. You can say, well, Reed overthinks. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but he's a lot better than that. And we've seen better iterations of Reed Richards in film. Especially Ian Gruffin, I think his name was. I thought he was great, Reed Richards. As far as the story, it was okay. There were certain aspects of it, and obviously there's going to be heavy spoilers in this, so this is the warning now, I guess. The concept of Galactus wanting Franklin in order to feed his hunger was a really fascinating concept that I felt like they didn't do enough with, especially when it comes to the people on the planet, because they just have this almost Stepford love for the Fantastic Four. Like, they said early in the movie that pretty much the entire planet demilitarized because of the Fantastic Four, because they didn't feel they needed militaries anymore. And I believe, or at least it was implied, that the only one that didn't demilitarize was Latveria, which just goes to prove that Doctor Doom is probably smarter than Reed Richards in this universe. Because I understand you might want to get rid of a military, or all the militaries, to avoid war between countries, but that's not the only thing militaries are used for. Like, you have supervillains that are raging crime all over the place. I mean, you got Mole Man trying to steal buildings. You got whatever Red Ghost was trying to do. And what happens if you have some intergalactical giant cosmic being that wants to eat the planet? You're just going to rely on the Fantastic Four? I mean, they do. Just seems kind of dumb. You know, especially like even in the final battle, like, you know, maybe it would be nice to have a couple tanks or jets or helicopters that maybe could try to distract Galactus or push him back into the portal or whatever. So that was really dumb. It felt underutilized. Galactus, I would say, was the standout performance in this movie. Every time he was on screen, I was engaged. I was excited. Whenever he wasn't on screen, I kept looking forward to him coming back. When I finished watching the movie, it was really the only thing I wanted more of. I didn't care about the Fantastic Four. At any point in time, did I ever get that. Despite the fact that they're apparently our guides, our protectors, and our friends. I just never really felt a moment where I cared about these people. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for that. One, it's the performance and the writing. Or two, it's the fact that Marvel has said that they're going to reboot the universe after Secret Wars. So who knows if this is even going to be the Fantastic Four going forward. It is for at least one more movie, possibly two, most likely two. But after that, who knows? We could be getting a new Fantastic Four. So, it's hard to really care about these characters. And again, that could be partly because of MCU reboot, or it could be because of the writing and the acting. Could be a mixture of both, I don't really know. But, yeah, it was difficult to find anything interesting about that cast. It was always seemed to be bland. The movie itself was really boring, to be honest with you. Like I said before, aside from Galactus, there's a lot of points I checked out, and I watched the movie, well, I don't want to say I watched the whole movie 3 times, but I tried to get through it 3 times, and there's still one scene that keeps coming up, and every time it comes up, I just completely check out. And I keep forgetting that it's in there until I go through it again. The ending of the movie was a bit ridiculous, to go from moving an egg to moving a planet. It was a bit much. Like, a planet is just an egg, but larger. It's kind of really dumb. Sue taking on Galactus by herself was a bit ridiculous. I mean, yes, there was some help from the Thing with one building, but Reed and the Thing should have been pummeling this guy, or Ben and the Torch should have been pummeling this guy, while either Reed or Torch saved the child. And Torch would have obviously been the better choice because he was faster. So he could have gotten to the child and gotten to the switch in the amount of time it took Reed to get to the child. So it was really, again, it was just something really dumb. And another, I guess, nitpick thing would be Reed Richards' hair. Because that was a terrible hair dye. Like, it looked like somebody put whiteout in his hair in some of the scenes. Like, just put a little dab of whiteout to make it look like he has white hair here. And it looked terrible. And speaking of terrible, floating baby in space was just atrocious. That was some of the worst CGI I've seen. Definitely in this movie, but overall. And for Vanessa Kirby to come out and say, like, oh no, we used a real baby 100% of the time. Like, really? Sure about that? Did you watch the movie? Did you know there was a floating baby in space? Were you aware of that? Because I don't think you were. Because That was the stuff of nightmares, to be honest with you. And one thing I did catch too, in the follow-up viewing, the major spoiler here. So if you've stayed this long and you don't want to know the ending, back out now. Major spoiler. Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, dies at the end, and Reed tries to perform CPR, but his hands are in the wrong position. Instead of being on her sternum, they're at the top of her rib cage, almost towards her throat. And it got me thinking, and I went back and I double checked, and I can confirm Madam Web did it better. So Madam Web gets points over Fantastic Four simply because of CPR. It's pretty ridiculous. Overall, what do I think of this movie? Compared to the other four Fantastic Fours, it's definitely been better than Fan-tastic. I mean, that's not even that's not really even an accomplishment, to be honest with you. It is better than the Gorman Fantastic Four. Again, that was kind of like a quick piece together movie that was just done to keep the rights, but it still seemed rather enjoyable. I think I gave that about a 5. Compared to the 2005 Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer, the Silver Surfer. Oh, I haven't even talked about that yet. I prefer the 2005 Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer better, to be honest with you. I like the cast better. I like the story better. Yes, Rise of the Silver Surfer had a giant fart cloud as Galactus, and it's very, very disappointing. If Galactus that we see in this movie was in Rise of the Silver Surfer, that would have been such a better friggin' movie. Oh man, that would have been such a good movie. And yes, as far as Silver Surfer in this movie, it was dumb. It was dumb. They should have just had Norn Rad. Having a female Silver Surfer meant nothing to this story. It didn't change anything. The only argument could be made that you would have to change it from Johnny having a crush on Silver Surfer to just Johnny trying to figure out the Silver Surfer, which is really something that's minor, and I don't necessarily think would change anything in this movie. So yes, it should have been Norn Rad. To introduce the Silver Surfer in the MCU as a female Silver Surfer is just as dumb as introducing Reed Richards with John Krasinski and then doing nothing with him. It's just short-sighted, dumb decision. And it brings the movie down. Not a lot, but it does. And because of that, I do enjoy Rise of the Silver Surfer better. Anyway, I think I got most of the points through. I hope this review was interesting to any of you. If you agreed with what I said, or any of what I said, or even if you disagreed, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked the review, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I will be trying to work on more reviews in the future. They may end up being older reviews, especially with the superhero movie kind of going on hiatus for a year. I might just go back and rewatch some of the older superhero movies, like the George Reeves Superman might be the next review. I don't know. Depends. See, I have to wait and see how this goes. This was very difficult for me to get out there. I do have depression and anxiety issues. Unfortunately, I don't get to grope attractive women in public to deal with my anxiety. So, kind of jealous about that. But, yeah, let me know what you think of the review itself, what I can do to change it, what I can do to make it better. This was very much off the cuff. It was more just because I wanted to make sure that I at least got it out there, because I have been avoiding this for so long that I had to do something to get it done. Otherwise I would never be getting where I am. Anyway, that's a lot of rambling about nothing. Again, if you like what you see here, like, share, subscribe. If you don't, thanks for sticking around this long, and hopefully I'll get to see you in the next video. Ciao for now.